Yu-Gi-Oh! Belongs to the most well-known franchises in the world. Be it for the actual card game with over 10,000 cards, several video games, multiple anime series with over 1000 episodes in total, multiple mangas with hundreds of chapters in total, or any other official Yu-Gi-Oh! Products. The chance that you heard anything about it is really high. But that just leaves the question, is it worth investing your time into Yu-Gi-Oh! I will be mainly talking about the first Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime and manga, but I have to say that these are also the easiest ways to get started with the actual game in my opinion. So this video will mainly be some sort of recommendation of the first series for people who never watched it, or even people who watched it way back in the past and think about giving it another try. The first thing I wanna address is the difference between the manga and the anime, because it is a pretty important one which will affect your choice. The manga starts with 7 whole volumes before we get to the point of the card games becoming the main thing. But this doesn't mean that the beginning is pointless for the ongoing story, it is actually the other way around. These volumes introduce and build up the most important characters for the future of Yu-Gi-Oh! We see how our protagonist Yugi Muto and our main group go through a lot of struggles, tightening their bond, which is a pretty important thing for the rest of their story. We see how Yami Yugi, the spirit of Yugi's Millennium Puzzle, starts up with a darker and more mysterious aura around him. We see how the rivalry between Yugi and Kaiba starts while learning about Kaiba's past and why he acts the way he does. And we also get whole arcs around Shadi and Bakura, who will also turn out to be a very important characters for the future of the story. If you start with the anime, you just have to accept a lot of these facts without really understanding them. The depth of most things will just be lost. Kaiba's rivalry with Yugi will just look like an unhealthy obsession for no reason. Yami Yugi's darker and twisted nature feels almost erased, even though it eventually plays a role in future events. Shadi will most likely feel like a random forgettable character, and Bakura will just be that random classmate that becomes a part of the main group over time without giving him and his bond to them any depth. You will just lose 59 chapters of introductions and build-ups. With a show adapting around 2 to 3 chapters per episode, it will end up a loss of around 20 episodes. Due to that, they try to compensate that lost content with some added flashbacks and standalone episodes. You could run that up to 5 episodes that try to compensate it, which kinda works out, but don't give you all the information needed to understand the deeper themes around everything. Another difference with the anime is that they cut out quite some stuff from the manga, either completely cutting them off, compensate them with other anime original scenes, or just changing plot points completely up. That goes so far that you could separate the anime and the manga as 2 different stories sometimes. Even though all of that sounds a bit negative regarding the anime, it is still a great watch, which does a good job in most other aspects. And another mention-worthy thing is that the first 59 manga chapters of Yu-Gi-Oh! Do have an adaptation. But it has the same problem with the changed up stuff and that it is no official prequel to the Duel Monsters anime. So watching both without any context could be pretty confusing. To answer the question if you should rather start with the manga or with the anime, you can definitely start with the anime if you don't mind about losing some context or depth and just enjoy watching anime more due to it being voiced, animated and having fitting soundtracks in the background. But there's a really important thing, you should watch it in Japanese with subtitles. The dubbed version of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime is the final boss of censorship and changed up stuff. The anime is already a more harmless version of the manga and adapted their best to make it look like nothing. Cut scenes, changed dialogue, a lot of censorship, changed names, changed characteristics, and even the soundtracks got changed. 4Kids made the dubbed version of the anime to a whole other show just to make it more suitable for kids. The dub may be iconic and the entrance for most Yu-Gi-Oh! Fans till today, but it is just not recommendable for someone who really wants to give Yu-Gi-Oh! A serious try. So, if you don't enjoy watching anime with subtitles and want to give every context plus the original vision of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Author Kazuki Takahashi for a series, then I really recommend you reading the manga. You can always rewatch scenes from the manga you love in the anime and even give the anime only arcs a try if you enjoy seeing the characters. Now, after all that recommendation talk, let us talk about what Yu-Gi-Oh! Is about to begin with. Probably a weird order of recommending a show, but I felt like talking about the anime and manga differences was just too important. The story starts with Yugi Muto trying to complete an ancient Egyptian puzzle called the Millennium Puzzle, which would unleash a dark spirit with lost memories within it, commonly known as Yami Yugi. One big plot point will be regarding this ancient Egyptian spirit. Through the whole show, you will learn more about him, his influences, and how to obtain his memories back. As I already said before, the whole card game plot won't become the main plot device until the 8th volume of the manga. The first 7 volumes will guide you through this world with a lot of games, if you wanna call them that can reach from a simple game with dice to a death game with poisoned food or armed soldiers. I don't really know what the beginning is comparable with, but if I had to compare it with something, it probably would be JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Especially part 3, which funnily enough was a huge inspiration for the series. It follows, like most shonen jump mangas, the classic trope of the importance of friendship, conflicts being fought over and stuff like that. But what makes Yu-Gi-Oh special there is that instead of really fighting each other with magical powers or brute strength, they use games to end their conflicts. And even though that sounds kinda childish and harmless, it will a lot of times end up gruesome and dark. A lot of dark and deep themes go through every game at the beginning, with a lot of great twists how the game will end up. This just makes you want to see more and more. Going further, we start to learn that ancient Egypt and the Millennium items will play a bigger role, especially as soon as we get to the point of Duel Monsters, the card game we all know and love. The deep and dark themes won't slow down after Duel Monsters starts, but a huge difference is the length of the arcs. While the beginning has a more episodic story where you play game after game because of new reasons, we start with a tournament which follows a huge main storyline, added up with a lot of new important side plots the further we get into the story. A great thing is also how one arc leads to the beginning of the other arc, giving us a continuous, evolving story which feels completely natural and logical, without leaving the main influences of the Egyptian past and the search for Yami Yugi's memories. Great iconic antagonists, one of the best rivalries in anime I know, an interesting storyline, and just a lot of enjoyable games and characters you just want to follow for the whole journey. Yu-Gi-Oh does have everything you want in a show. I don't feel like I'm the best at explaining some recommendation, reasons or something like that, but I surely hope I was able to wake up your interest in starting Yu-Gi-Oh! I really love this show and I would love to have more people appreciating the show for what it is. Thank you all for watching. I would appreciate you liking this video if it helped you out, and comment down below if you watched or read Yu-Gi-Oh already, or if you're about to do it now. Recommend this video to people you would like to start Yu-Gi-Oh, and tell me in the future if you enjoyed consuming it. Have a great time and see you soon. Bye!